Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are gonna be doing another story time, and this story time is gonna be how I met my boyfriend. We have been dating for almost 4 years now, which is pretty exciting. So I'm gonna discuss and tell you guys everything, all the little motherfucking details on how we met, because I feel like we met a very unique way. And yeah, so if you guys want to know, keep on watching. Okay, so I didn't know this, but at the time me and my boyfriend was already like mutuals on Instagram, and he had a whole ass girlfriend, you guys. Like, you know, he had a whole ass relationship. He's been together like, I guess, for like a whole year. And he was in a whole ass relationship. And I was with, like, during that time I was the best, like best person I was focusing on myself. I was like the best version of myself. And me and my best friend were FaceTiming that day, and I was scrolling through Instagram stories, like, you know, whatever. It was late at night. It was actually like 8 o'clock at night, maybe 9. And I came across his post, and like I was reading it. I was fucking chismosa, so I was reading it, and then his girlfriend at that time, his ex-girlfriend, cheated on him. So I looked at the story and I was like, I kind of skipped through it. I was like, but wait, I went back. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like, I can't believe he got cheated on. Like, poor thing. Like, nobody should ever like have to deal with that in their life, because being cheated on is like a very hurtful thing, and it can affect, like, you know, the next relationship. And who knows, like, trust issues build up. You guys already know. So I was telling my best friend, like, oh my god, like, this guy, like, was dating his girlfriend for how long? And, you know, I remember, like, couple months before, like, everything happened, him getting cheated on and me finding out, I seen his story where, like, he surprised his girlfriend, like his ex-girlfriend, with like his, like, a room decor, like with balloons and all that bullshit. And I told, like, all of my friends, like, oh my god, like, I wish a man would treat me this way. I wish I could experience this, like, never in my life. Like, this is so cute, adorable, etc, etc, whatever. So skipping back through, like, when that night he got cheated on, when I found out, I was telling my friend, I was like, my best friend, I was like, oh my god, girl, like, I feel so fucking bad, like, you know, like, should I say something? And then I was already typing. I was like, heads high, bro. And then I skipped a few steps. I was like, nah, I shouldn't even text that. But for some reason I had a gut feeling, like, deep in my fucking like, I was like, shit, I need to go back, because I already skipped like a few stories. And I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go back. Or actually, I told my friend, I was like, girl, I'm gonna go say heads high, bro. And then after that, you know, I was like, nah, never mind. I skipped a few stories, and I was like, fuck it, like, I'm gonna go back. And, you know, what could go wrong? Like, I'm just saying, like, heads high, like, keep your head up. And then I said, so I didn't get a response back until the next day. He responded at night, and at that time I was at my parents' work. I didn't work with them at that time. I was just, like, tagging along, you know. And he replied a story. I think he said something like, thanks, whatever. And then that's when we started texting, you know. Like, I was telling him my experience on how I was in a shitty ass relationship, and, like, we kind of bonded. And then that's when we exchanged Snapchat and numbers. We were talking, and then I think the next day I texted him, like, oh, you're not gonna pull up at my school, because he is 2 years older than me. And I texted him, like, oh, you're not gonna pull up at my school, like, yeah, whatever, like, you're scared or something. And I didn't even know he was gonna pull up, but he drove. I didn't. I was still in, like, I was a senior in high school. And so so he was like, he pulled up, and I didn't even know. Like, I only had like 3 periods left, and I always ended school at 11 because I already had all of my credits or whatever. So like, he texted me, and this was at 11, and he was working at Hawaiian Ice at that time. He finished at 11, and he was like, oh, I'm pulling up, because we shared locations already, like ASAP, like automatics, like, you know, I don't know why we were doing that, but we already did. And then, because I guess he was like, oh, you're such a liar, you're not at your parents' work. And I was like, no, I'm telling the truth. So I guess that's how we started sharing locations. And then he just shared his, and everything was moving so quickly, like, not gonna lie. So he pulled up at my school, and he was like, oh, I'm here. And I was like, bitch, what do you mean you're here? So I was like, I kind of made this lame ass excuse saying, oh yeah, like, wait, I'm in a class, but bitch, I went to the bathroom to go fucking check my makeup. I was like, I was wearing 25mm lashes on my eyebrows, on my makeup done, and at that time you would still have to wear your mask. So I had my fucking Louis Vuitton cross-body bag with leggings, my Converse, and a flannel, and a black tank top. Bitch, I dressed like a fucking whatever. So he pulled up, and I was checking my makeup, checking my outfit. So I was walking, and I'm insecure about my walk, so I was looking for his car. For some reason, I was like, I knew what car he was in. Like, he was like, oh, don't buy my car, whatever, because he went home. He told me he had to wash his car, shower, I think he got a haircut, like, you know, and he has only been with one girl at that time. So like, I was like, what the fuck, like, you know, I guess we only hung out as friends. So like, I went in his car, and like, I picked my head in. I was so fucking cringy. I picked my head in, and I was like, hi. And I had my mask on, and he didn't. And I was like, I looked at him, I was like, oh my god, like, this guy is so cute, like, you know, like, never. Okay, so yeah, so that's what happened. And it was so funny. So I went in his car. That whole day he was like, okay, where do you want to go, like, are you hungry? Like, you know, I sat in his car. I was so shy, because I was like, hold on, like, never in my life have I ever been in a car with somebody that I didn't know. So I said my location to my best friend, and I was like, hey girl, if I don't call you back tonight at 8 or something, bitch, call the cops, because I think I'm fucking missing. Like, I'm meeting up this guy, and he has a car, and I don't fucking know him. So I was so fucking nervous, but I was like, nah, like, this is like only like friends type. He was like, take off your mask. I was like, bitch, I'm fucking scared. Like, this guy is gonna fucking think I'm ugly. So he was like, take off your mask. I was like, no, I'm shy. And then after I had my mask on, it was so awkward. We sat there in silence for like a whole 5 minutes of the ride, because we were gonna go Ala Moana. And he's like, so where you want to go? And then I was like, oh, you know, we can go Ala Moana, whatever. So we went down, and then he opened the door for me. I was like, oh bitch, like, never in my life have another guy open the door for me, because like, I was like, wait, let me go open my door for myself. So after that, like that's how I knew. I was like, oh, like, he's a gentleman, you know. It was kind of cringy at that time, but I still think about it like that. And he held my purse. Never in my life have I had another guy hold my purse, at like, ever. So, you know, we were walking around the food court, and I was like, oh, I'm not hungry, you know, like, there was nothing for me to do. Like, we weren't doing anything. So we were driving around, and you know, we didn't even know what to do. We didn't do anything. We went to Target, and my best feature before was my hair. Like, my dad grew my hair long. It was up to my knees. Like, I really thought, like, oh, what is he gonna think about my hair, you know? And then when he told me, like, he wasn't thinking about my hair, he was thinking about my lips, I was like, bitch, the fuck? I was like, I guess my lips are fucking there. He was telling me my lips are fucking big. I'm like, Yeah, I know. I don't get it from anybody in my family. I don't even know how I got big ass lips. But he was looking at my lips, and we were at Target, and he was so close to me. Like never have I ever had a man like so close to me. I was getting fucking butterflies in my ass. And I went to Target, went to the toy section, and like we're looking at fucking toys. Like, what? And I'm not a Target girly. Like, we were at the toy section, and he was behind me, as close to me. I was like, never had a man, like, you know, I feel protected. So when we left Target, you know, we went to White Killer, whatever, and then after that, we went to Jeans Warehouse. We were walking, and it got really, really hot because it was September. So I was like, ugh, like, we're gonna go back in the car. So we went back in the car, and then we hit Alamwana side again. And turns out, you know, his family's calling him, like, saying like, hey, when are you gonna be there? And I didn't know it was his brother's birthday, so we drove to Dave and Buster's. I didn't even know what that was. I was like, what the fuck is a Dave and Buster's? And like I said, I lived under a rock. I was working since 15 and a half, so it's like, what? Like, he was asking me like, oh, do you want to come? You, my family, like, no, it's okay, like, I'll go home. You spend your time with your family, because, like, you know, like, I don't want, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like really shy. I was like, no. So, but he drove past there, and then I met his older sister, which is so funny. Like, you know, she said hi to me, and then I was like, hi, you know. It's like, it was weird but funny. And he drove me home, and then you know, like, I told him, because my parents didn't know at the time. Like, at that time, my parents was like hella strict, like fucking strict. Like, I'm telling you guys, my parents are fucking Asian, Filipino fucking parents, like strict as fuck. Like, cameras everywhere in the house, you know. So I told him, hey, drop me off in the back of like my apartment. And he was like, okay. And then I looked at him, and I gave him a hug, and he gave me a hug, and I was like, oh, like, thank you for today, like, I really needed it. So I went up, and I called my friend. I was telling her my whole day. She was calling me, she was spamming me. So I was like, hey girl, like, I'm safe, I'm at home, thank you. And then I just told her everything that has happened. And then, like, we started talking from there. And then yeah, and the rest is history. So fast forward to a couple weeks later. We weren't official yet. We were just talking. He said I love you like the second day. But it was an accident. He was, bitch, my fucking Delulu ass was like, oh, I love you too. But he meant to say was, I like you. But bitch, you probably fucking thought, like, you know, like, mind you, he just got out of a relationship. So his family group, his friends and his family thought I was a rebound, because he never ever was that type to date other girls. Like, you know, like I said in the last video, he's a shy man. So he never really dated anybody. So, like, people thought I was a rebound. You know, I was fed into that toxicity and the toxic shit, but we'll go into that later. A couple weeks later, he asked me out to be his girlfriend. Back, it said like, will you be my girlfriend? And we're holding hands, like, bitch, like we were fucking 80 years old. I don't know why we were holding hands like that, but anyways, yeah. So yeah, that's what happened. So he asked me out to be his, like, we were official on November 26, 2021. And afterwards, like, everything was good. And yeah, he spent time with me so much, like every single day. We were together every single day. There was not a day where we didn't see each other. And I was never used to that in my whole life. I was used to being apart with everybody. And like I said, you know, like, your past, like, I let my past define me, he let his past define himself. And it was really hard, because we had to pay the price. You know, so 2 years after, everything got really toxic. There's always stages into a relationship. This is so normal. And we were in a very toxic stage where I didn't want to go a day without seeing him. He needed like a break. We were arguing every single day. It was toxic. his family got in between everything. And like I said, this is a reminder for everyone who is in a relationship, or everyone knows if you're like years into a relationship, you guys already know this, but never take advice from anybody but yourself. Only take advice from people who has a healthy relationship with their partner and who has been going so strong, who's happily married, you know, who has all of this compatible shit going on. Take advice from them. Don't take advice from anybody who's toxic, who's also toxic with themselves. And we had to grow and learn. He had to lose people to love me. Deep down in my body, till this fucking day, I still carry hate of what happened 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. Hate that everything has happened, and hate for the people that was involved. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it's ever gonna heal. I think time only can tell. But right now, I'm just keeping my peace. Like, a lot of things has happened this year. My boyfriend moved in, and like, that's the hardest part, because when we argue, we don't have a place to go, we don't have a place to run. So it's like, we have to face each other. And what we have learned, when every time we argue, we're gonna argue now, and we're gonna fix it now, so we can continue on to the next day without, you know, any drama. So, you know, we argue as a normal couple. You know, I fucking yell at him, he yells at me, but then at the end of the day, we still sleep in the same bed, we still talk, we still laugh, you know, we don't give a fuck. People, like, his people call me toxic, and that's fine. Honestly, like, that's totally fine, because nobody has been in a long ass relationship like us, not that I know of. I always set a good example, and I always like look at my parents like relationship together, and my brother's relationship with his wife. Like, everybody is toxic in their own way, but it's the adapting. And honestly, like, it's really up to the man too, how he wants to act. And there's some things I have to work on myself, there's some things he has to work on. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this other story time. It's really funny to make. I love thinking about how we met. Like, that's the one thing that makes me happy. So, I have a lot of stories to tell, but this is our story and how we met. My boyfriend doesn't like being on camera. Like I said, he's a shy man. So, I will see you guys on my next video, and I hope you guys enjoy the story time. Bye.
Gotta say a word, keep getting me what I'm looking for. I just gotta tell everybody, I don't wanna keep it on the low. Goddamn, I love I love, goddamn, I love, I love.